viewers, we continue with the stories of the retired ministers on the Regents programs. So today, we go to the home of none other than the Rev Benson Kishoyian, a retired minister in Maasai at a place called Mpakasi in Kitengela. So join with us as we share with the Rev Benson Kishoyian. Chungaji, can you say hi to the viewers and introduce yourself?
How are you, viewers? I'm Rev Benson Kishoyian, a retired minister. I retired on February 2018.
Mm-hmm.
I'm married to my wife Florence Kishoyian. God has blessed us with 3 children, and we have 6 grandchildren.
Thank you so much, Mchungaji. Now it's good to know you, and thank you for welcoming us here.
Yeah.
So, we're interested to know how your story of how you joined the ministry and what really prompted you to join the ministry of the PCA Church.
Okay.
Yes.
Me, I was saved in 1977. I was working with East African Portland Cement.
Okay.
And later, with some gentlemen, others, a ministry called Life Ministry.
Oh, okay.
They visited us around home here. And at that time we were living on the other side in my father's farm. And then I got saved. From that time, when I got saved, then we started a church, PCA Church, in that time. And later our church was in the Olosos Parish.
Okay.
But that was Ngong. In fact, it was in Ngong Parish. With the Reverend late Pule, Samuel Pule.
Oh, okay.
By then.
Mm-hmm.
And later we welcomed him, and we started that congregation here. And later I was employed as an evangelist.
Okay.
Yeah, I was employed as an evangelist. We work with late Play, for a long time. We later had some others evangelists. In fact, Losos was almost in the whole Kajiado,
okay.
Up to Litoktok, up to Waso, those areas. So we covered a very big area. In fact, it covered the whole Kajiado, Losos Parish by then.
Okay.
So when I got saved, we had a missionary called Tim Fairman. He later, when we are still working as evangelists, he requested me, why don't you go to lay training to be trained as a minister? I didn't like to be a minister by then because of the challenges that I knew Pile had, and especially that I was ordained as an elder in 1984. And then we knew how the congregation was challenges a lot with the ministers and so on. So when the Reverend Tim Fairman asked me to go to training, I didn't like it. And he asked me why. So I told him no, because I don't like the way the ministers are treated by then. But later he challenges me and told me, okay. I told him I want to serve as an evangelist. But he told me, no, you can serve better as a minister. We talk later, and we talk with late Reverend Akel, late Reverend Pillay, and then they challenged us. We agreed to go to the training. In fact, we went to evangelist training in the Pastoral Institute for almost 3 years. Later in 1985, we joined in our late training as ministers. Okay. We are trained as ministers. I finished my training in 1987, and then I was sent to Laikipia Presbytery in 1988, and I was ordained just exactly in 1988 in Laikipia Presbytery. Okay. So those are the challenges I went through. So, but those ministers help us to agree to be a minister. Although me, I was not intending to be a minister.
So you can specifically say that you received a call to the ordained ministry, like many of us say.
in one way, the other, I could say maybe I did not receive that at that time, but later when they challenged me, I could see, and they could tell me, okay, we see that you have a call to serve as a minister, and then I agreed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are some of the places or maybe the presbyteries that you served during your active ministry?
By that time, I served in Laikipia for almost 5 years.
Okay.
In fact, after serving in Laikipia for 5 years, I was sent back to Ngong. In fact, I went to Sultan Hamdu. That was either 91 or 92. After late Iteri, he left there. He stayed for that area stayed for 7 years without a minister. Then I was sent there. In fact, I was taken there by late Reverend Akel. And then even the house which was there, wow, it was very, very poor house. But I did agree to stay there. And we did a very good work in Sultan Hamdu. Until now, in fact, they have more than 10 congregations or more. Yeah. So I served in Ngong. After that, I think I went also to Namanga mission area. I went to Litoktok, still in Ngong. I think when I went to Litoktok, I think we had subdivided the presbytery from Ngong to Kajiado Presbytery. And I was a clerk by then when we were subdividing Ngong and Kajiado Presbytery.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I served in Litoktok for 3 years. Later I was posted to Mokoroine. I served in Mokoroine as a moderator and as a clerk. And then I was sent back to Ngong to Matasia. Matasia, Kiserian, it was Olola Iser Parish, which is divided into to Olola Iser and Kiserian Parish. And then after that, I was sent to Kajiado for another 5 years. In fact, I stayed in Olola Iser Parish for 5 years. I stayed in Kajiado for 5 years. And then from there, I was posted to Adriva, Nairobi Central, where I came to retire. On I think it was February. That was
2018.
Yeah, 2018.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's quite a journey.
Yeah.
And it seems like you have served most of your life in the mission areas.
Yeah. Mission area.
Ngong and Sultan Hamdu.
Yeah.
So, what can you tell us were or have been the main challenges that you may have experienced during your life in the active ministry?
The main challenges, especially when you go like places when I was to Mokoroine. Mokoroine, I was sent to an outreach which was very, very down, very low, because it looks as when you go to Mokoroine, you just met old people. The young people have just come to Nairobi. So those who are left there are
just old people.
Old people. And it forced me to preach even in Kikuyu because we could not understand Swahili. And then the other problem, because of their funds, they did not have funds. So the cess they were paying was not able even to sustain the minister. But since I was, the other time I was a moderator, the other time I was a clerk, I did convince the presbytery that whatever, in fact, it was the time the allowances were paid 11,000. And they were only able to pay 7,000. And then the presbytery was pushing them hard. I told them, no, let them pay whatever they are paying, because they will just come up. And so they had, there are those challenges of funds, especially when they were told to pay. But by the time I left Mokoroine in Ngamwa, that was a Ngamwa outreach, they were able to pay the allowances.
No, okay.
Yeah, they were able to
good.
pay. And the other challenges, especially in the mission area, like when I went to Sultan. Sultan, where I was sent by that time, there was a building that was built by Guild in 1976, a church building, and it was not complete.
Yeah.
And then now we are sent there. There's nobody. There have been no minister for 7 years, and then you are sent to an area like that. You don't know anybody. So those challenges of going here and talk to friends. In fact, I did organize with my friends in Nairobi. We went and raised funds. In fact, we raised almost 150,000. It was a lot of money. And then we were able to complete the church because it had no windows, no doors. So we are able to complete the church. So now people say, oh, this is a very strong church. Then they start coming. And what I did, in fact, when I went there, because there was no people, there was no somebody who can tell, let's buy even a chair. I went to Sultan Hamduk. I bought 10 forms, 10 forms with my own money, and 1 table and 4 chairs for the front there. Yeah. So now when we did the fundraising again, we completed the church. We put the floor. They had no floor. Then our people start coming.
Okay.
So it was a challenge, because when you go to an area like that and there's no person you know, unless you know how to talk to people, that they can agree to come to that church. Yeah.
Wow, that was a challenge.
Yeah.
But at least you
and also
up to the task.
Also in Namanga, I was also sent is a large area, because you can imagine Namanga town. From Bissell town, you go 20 kilometers to Maparasha, even beyond 20 kilometers. The other side is more than 10 kilometers, called Batimaru. So it was also a very large area. And by that time, these new churches were coming up.
Okay.
So there was that challenge. People are a bit confused by these other churches with the teachings.
Okay.
But we managed to contain them, and we did well, a good job also in that area.
Now, you've talked about very wide areas and mission areas that you served in. Did you have a car by that time?
Yeah, good luck. I had a car.
Yeah.
I bought a car around 83.
Oh,
so I had my car. Even when we were evangelists, I had a car.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Then you are lucky.
But the problem is now they cannot fuel it. It is you to maintain it, to fuel it.
Yes.
Yeah, but I did have a car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that is good. Now, sometimes we talk about we have had ministers talk about a particular parish that impacted them or their life in ministry. Do you have one such parish that you can say that you will always remember for what you were able to accomplish, or they themselves did to you?
Yeah, especially like in fact, those areas I have gone, I did a very good job. I really appreciate. Like now the Sultan have grown, Namanga is growing up. Like Olala is their parish, which is subdivided into 2. They really appreciate it, because even before I went there, they had no minister's house. There was a small house which belonged to Guild. So by the time I left after 5 years, we were able to subdivide a parish. We were able to build 2 houses for the ministers. And even today, they still remember me, and they do even invite me when they have some occasions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that is good, and it's good to hear when you give stories of transformation in the parishes where we were. What would you tell us to be, having now served in mission areas and also in some parishes, the difference between serving in the mission area and in a parish?
Yeah, the only problem we have with, especially today with our ministers, is the attitude somebody has.
Yes.
When I go to a mission area, it's like it's been punished. But I thank God, because when I went to Sultan, to Letokto, because also it was like a mission area, to Namanga, I did not complain any time. And I have seen the hand of the Lord. Even in that area, I have never suffered.
Yes.
Although I used to walk 20 kilometers. To go to, for example, from Maparasha to Bissell, it's 20 kilometers. When you finish service after around noon, you have to walk 20 kilometers because there is no vehicles. And I did not use my vehicles sometimes. I did not have money. So to me, it was not like a punishment when you were sent to those hardish areas. I really enjoyed even serving them. And when you go to people, when you go to a parish, some people go with a different attitude. What is he going to get in that parish? But I think to me, it was not what I'm going to get, is what I'm going to give. Yeah.
Wow.
And when we were in Tanzania, I met a minister. I don't know what we call him. He served in Nairobi school. He was reminding me how I told people in Mokorene about when people bring things in the church, people expect them, our ministers expect them to be brought to them. But what I used to do is to buy for them, to buy and give to the members. So he did remind me, you did a very good thing. He told people to not expect to be also being given every time, but to give also. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So mchungaji, I remember sometimes back I have asked this question before, that there was a time a group of Maasai ministers came together and decided to defect from the PCA. Were you approached to join the team?
Yeah, I was approached, although it was not direct.
Okay.
Our colleague Reverend Barinkoi did talk that issue, because you see he was working in a mission in Uweso mission, and I think by then I was a presbytery clerk in Ngong. So he approached us from far, as he was, the church had, in fact he had gone to US almost many times, because he was a missionary. And when he came from US, I think he had talked to our partners that the church is not, the mission area is not getting the fund direct from, the fund they are sending to the head office is not reaching them as they had sent. So there was that language you want to use, saying, okay, if the fund is coming direct to the Maasai, it could be better than passing to the head office. So those languages, that's how he tried to approach us. But we did agree with him, because we knew the church was doing a very good job. In fact, that area of Uweso was really, the church was putting all the support. The schools were built, the churches, we had built many churches. The only problem, we did not have the title for the plots, because even the owners did not even have the title too. But although the land was, somebody was, knew his area, but he did not have a title. So technically, that's how he managed to confuse those people and took our churches as his churches. Although later those people regretted. In fact, when we went back again to start some other congregations, and even those people are just calling us, they were regretting that Mbaringo did not tell them the fact. Yeah.
Okay.
So he had approached us, but many of us, we did not agree with him. Yeah, but he managed to take Reverend Kishoyian, Reverend Ntie. Yeah.
Now, I know those three that you have mentioned were good friends of yours. How did that affect you at a personal level, to see your friends defecting from the church?
It did affect us so much, because these are the colleagues we had. In fact, we went to college with Mbaringo, both of them. Yes. It's only Stephen who came in later. Yes. And we are so close friends. So when they decided to defect, in fact, that thing it affected us a lot. And even I remember, because I was a presbytery clerk, the church wanted us to go to the court, and I told them, no, let's not go to that far. Let them just go, because who are we going to make case with? These are our colleagues. If they are doing the work of the church, let them go. Yes. So it affected us a lot. Okay. Yeah, but we tried to talk to them later. They did not agree with us. Okay. So we say let them go. Yeah. At least now you are over that particular matter. Sure.
So
but
now,
it affected us.
Yeah, I know. So now tell us, because I know you did not just wake up when you were told it's time to retire, go home. How did you prepare yourself physically, spiritually, and psychologically for retirement, and what you will be doing after you retire? The late
past moderator Muindi did help us a lot, because he used to tell the minister you should be prepared to retire. So what I did, in fact, and we agreed with my wife, we'd not go to the parish with my family. I left them here. With in fact, our kids were just schooling around here until they finished standard 8. They went to secondary school. I left my wife home with our kids. That time we had many cows, so he was taking care of the kids and the home. So that was one way that, because we knew when you go with your family, especially as Maasais, then you you almost close the home because nobody will take care.
Yes, yes.
So we decided to leave our families and go alone to the parish. And with that challenge with Mwindi, we didn't know that one time somebody will retire. So God help us through the word of our past moderator. And when we left, you know, when your family is here, then all your mind are just there. Then you start even knowing that I need to have a house, I need to have this. So that's how we got prepared by lifting my family at home and take care of my wife took care of the family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that is good. At least somebody was challenging you right from the time that you joined the ministry that you will retire.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because sometimes we kind of forget and we seem like some of us are living today, serving today, but not thinking about tomorrow.
Sure.
So I know you are used to waking up and walking long distances and going to different congregations here and there and also driving. And as a very busy minister when you are an inactive ministry. So what do you do today when you wake up in the morning and you're not going to administer communion and you're not preaching anywhere? What do you do on a daily basis?
Okay. Since that time when we now after even before retirement, we still had the home. We still had a few cows, some mbuzi, and kuku and so on. So in fact, by my wife taking care of all these things, when I came, I was just used to, because we have something to do. Today we wake up, we have some few cows, we have some few mbuzi, we have the land, we have a small shamba, we have planted fruits. I remember the fruit we bought them very far from Mwiga. There's a prison in Kirinyaga.
Okay.
Yeah. My brother works there. We used to work in prisons. So he advised us to plant the mangoes because they do well, like in that area.
In hot areas.
Yeah. So we did plant. In fact, we had 200. We call it them seed or whatever.
Seedlings.
Yeah. So and they did well, very well until. These days when there was no rain for about 3 years, some started to dry up. So today we are busy. When we wake up, we have some cow to feed. Although we have one gentleman who is helping us, but we do assist him. Yes.
Okay. Now.
And Mama has also put some cuckoos. He has about 100 of them. Okay, okay. Yeah, and I have my own of kienyeji. So everybody is a bit busy.
You are good farmers.
Yeah. And also we have mbuzi, although we have another home for mbuzi or somewhere else, a bit far from here. And also by the time when I was still active, God had helped us with my wife. We did bought a plot around 93. In Kitengela, and we managed to build it. We started building 94, so we have a rental building in Kitengela town.
Oh, okay.
Since 94.
Okay.
Yeah.
You seem to have been all set for retirement.
Sure.
And you knew that when you get to retirement, you never struggle.
Yeah, sure. Wow. So we don't struggle.
Congratulations.
We don't struggle.
So now let's say you have come across Karemi, who is still in active ministry. And seems not to realize that days are going and a time will come for retirement. What would you tell me?
Yeah, one thing is good to be prepared. And sometimes my wife challenged me when I was not, before I retired. Mzee unajua utatretire. So I think it's good to be prepared. As what Mwindi was telling us, one day you will retire. So for the young ministers and those who are still active, they need also to have that in mind, that one day he will retire. You need to have a place to rest, call a home. And it's good luck. Today there's many ways of getting funds. By those days we did not have funds. There was no credits, there was no, even the SACCO was just started recently, in our PCA SACCO. So by today people can have many ways of having whatever they need. Yeah, so it's good to be prepared.
So how do you start preparing? You're telling somebody, you know, I may be seeing what I'm getting today. I'm not really thinking about it tomorrow. How would you advise me to start?
Okay, the way to start, first, you know, you have to have a place to call it home.
Yes.
Obviously. Because, you know, we know our system of Presbyterian, you go to a parish, you are given a big house than this one. And, you know, when you live there, you forget that you one day you go back to your home.
Yes.
So one thing, you need to know where will I go after retirement. There are people who have their parents has no land. So somebody must prepare by starting to know where will I get a small plot or a house to live after retirement. And when you think of that, then you get prepared.
Yeah.
It's good luck because now there are circles, whatever cooperatives. Somebody can get some money and buy a land and start building his own house or buy a house. And you know, by that way you can get prepared.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very important.
Yeah.
And I see that you're doing a very good job in coming here.
Because we have noticed people have a lot of, especially our young ministers. Today when somebody is posted to a parish, the first thing to think is, hii kanyumba ni kadogo.
Ya parokia.
I'm given a small house, I don't want to live in that house. And this person even has his own house. So you wonder, why are you refusing them a church house and you don't have yours? So it's good that when if you think about a house, why don't you go and build yours? And you, when you build yours, now you can say, I don't want this house, I have a mind, big one, and so on. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's good to prepare by thinking ahead. Yeah, because retirement must come. Yes.
So would you say, you said you are in Nairobi Central?
Yeah, I'm Nairobi Central.
Do they engage you every now and then?
Sure, sometimes. Sometimes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, although, you know, here we have Kajiado Presbytery, and we have Nairobi, Kajiado Presbytery with the two parishes, Kajiado Parish and the Township Parish. So where Dr. Muraya is, and where this Lamondo is. Those are different parishes, and now at the river. So sometimes they give me work, and this is now Lamondo Parish, Kajiado Parish. Sometimes we preach in our church. There's a church here just near, about 15-minute walk, a PCA church. Okay. Sometimes we preach there, sometimes we just go as members. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can say that you are enjoying your life in retirement.
Sure. I can't regret.
That is good.
Yeah.
So, Reverend Kishoyian, we are very happy that you agreed to open your home to us and to share your story with us. It's quite encouraging to see that somebody especially served for those many years in a mission area, and you enjoyed what you are doing, and you can look back and say that surely God was with me. So thank you so much for taking your time to share with us.
Yes.
And we pray that God continues to be with you in your retirement. And may the Lord bless you and be with you.
Amen.
God bless you so much.
Thank you so much.
Viewers, thank you for listening to us as we shared with Reverend Benson Kishoyian at his home in Embakasi, Kitengera. See you in the next episode of The Regents. God bless you.
Bwana asifiwe. Naitwa Florence Mwari Kishoyian. Mimi nilikuwa nasikilia bwana yangu, jambo la kwanza kwa maombi. Nilikuwa naomba sana ili Mungu amsaidie aweze kukamilisha kazi yake vizuri. Nilikuwa nikilima, nilikuwa nikichunga ng'ombe, na nilikuwa nafanya kazi na kanzu, na nilikuwa nakaa na watoto hapa. Kwa hivyo tulikuwa tunajaribu kufanya kila kitu, maana sisi nilimwambia yeye aende parish au aende ndani area, na mimi nibaki na watoto nyumbani. In case of anything, sairi atatoka retire, akuje retire, tutapata mahali ukaa. Kwa hivyo hiyo ndio njia moja nilikuwa namsaidia naye.